That was a pathetic woo, wasn't that?
That was a pathetic woo, but it's probably because you are still jet lagged or car lagged or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we got in 0 dark 30. It was way after 2 a.m. Before we got in, and it was like 3 a.m. before I got to bed. But we're back. We are back in the official glass case of Emotion Studios, and we've got our after-action report from the NRA annual meeting and exhibits, which was held this last weekend in Nashville, Tennessee. And thank you, Nashville. Jared, did Nashville do a good job?
Dude.
Are we proud of Nashville?
That was, out of all the shows I've ever been to, and I've been going to these since I was 18, and now I'm 25, so you can do the math.
Unless you went to public school.
Yeah, unless you went to public school. Then you'll have to do like 6 different steps to get that answer. But anyway, so out of all the shows I've ever been to, including NRA and SHOT Show, Nashville was the most enjoyable out of any of them.
They really did a good job. The hotels, the bus drivers or the shuttle drivers. The shuttle drivers, let me tell you what, hats off to those guys. If you've ever been in a large metropolitan area and had to rely on shuttle transportation, or if you traveled, you know that sometimes those guys are on their own schedule.
Not Nashville.
No, they were Johnny on the spot. If they were supposed to be there at the top of the hour, within 1 minute they were there. Same thing, bottom of the hour, within 1 minute they were there. The one evening there were, I'll tell that story later, but there was a lot of people, but they made sure there was enough shuttles for everyone. It was a good time. We were at the Music City Center right across the street from the Country Music Hall of Fame, right in downtown Nashville. It was busy. It was crowded. But they did a good job. And you know what they didn't even do? The first couple of days, Jared and I just took the shuttle from our hotel, but the last day we had to obviously check out, so we drove and we parked. That was the cheapest event parking I paid for in long time.
Was it like $10 or what was it?
It was $15.
$15.
To park right directly across the street from the venue.
I remember in Houston when we went to NRA.
$40.
$40.
$40 to park in a crappy lot and no in or out privileges. Just, it's like, whew, yeah. I wanted to punch somebody in Houston, but and you know what? Quite frankly, if the NRA never goes back to Houston, I'll be happy.
You know what? If the NRA went to Nashville every single year, I would go.
Yeah, no kidding. But people are like, but then it wouldn't be close to me. I know. Well, all right, there's lots of things to talk about, and rest assured, we are going to talk about those things. So take a deep breath. Breathe it out. Woosah. Namaste, or Mariska Hargitay, whatever you say. Somebody sends you, Jared, a message or something. They said Namaste, and as soon as I saw that, I thought Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah, it was on Twitter.
Mariska Hargitay.
He was commenting about the feministic, or what did I say?
The Hindu squats and Hindu push-ups and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, the feminine and masculinity and femininity.
That's right, the yin yang.
Yeah.
The yin yang. That's right, exactly. Well, folks, before we get too far into this one, we want to make sure that we thank our good friends, and we've got a new friend that's an old friend that we're going to be talking about. Crossbreed Holsters has come on with Student of the Gun Radio. You guys know, if you've been with us for a while, that Crossbreed's been our friend. We've been friends with them for several years. And Crossbreed Holster is an official Student of the Gun Radio sponsor, and we spent some time with Trent and Carol and all the good folks, the good people at Crossbreed Holsters at the NRA show. They had a whole booth full of, man, if you need to carry a handgun somehow, they pretty much can. Whether you want to carry it in your waistband, outside of your waistband, you want to attach it to something, you want to put it in a purse or a bag or whatever, whatever you need to attach a gun to, they can help you do that. Everyone's like, well, they think Super Tuck because that is the flagship product. Rock on. But they got way more than that. So check those guys out. Check out crossbreedholsters.com. Their entire line of belts and holsters and accessories that you will need to carry a gun and be an armed citizen. We spent some good times with our friend Tom and Pat at Velocity Triggers, and Tom anybody who came up and said, I am a student of the gun, they got a special discount on top of the already generous
show discount that he had, yeah.
And several of you people did that. Several of you students of the gun did that. So congratulations. I guess one person actually already bought their trigger, went home and put it in.
Yeah. They sent us a message on Facebook, I believe, or Twitter or something.
One of those.
Dude, Tom, if you're listening to me, thank you for saving me. Thank you for making me able to update our listeners and our fans of where we were throughout the day. I really appreciate that. The first day, I didn't really have good service in there, so I couldn't really update anybody, and everybody's like, hey,
where are you guys? What are you doing?
What are you doing? Why are you not updating? I'm like, crap. I told him I was going to update. I got to find a way to do this, and Tom saved me. Thank you, Tom.
Yes, Tom at Velocity Trigger. So if you guys appreciated the updates and the posts from the NRA show, it was because of our friend Tom who helped us out.
Here we go. Updates from the NRA show floor brought to you by Velocity Triggers. Literally.
There you go. Literally. Yeah, literally brought to you by Velocity Triggers. Designed for precision. Brownells. We spent some time at the Brownells booth, and we talked to our good friend Frank Brownell, who is a gentleman. If there ever was a gentleman in the shooting sports industry, Frank Brownells is that guy.
He is the man.
He could give lessons on how to be a professional and a gentleman in the industry, and we were happy to spend some time with those guys. They've just I can't really keep up with all the products that they're releasing. They've got umpteen products that they've released at the Brownells catalog. You talking about Roy or Larry or who you want to talk about? I don't know. Jared's giving me hand signs through the glass case over there.
Hand signs.
He's giving me doing the hand jive over there. But
Ryan Rep. That's who we talked to.
Ryan
at Century Arms booth.
No.
Yeah, we ran
saw him in the Century
Arms,
booth.
Yeah.
But
we were like, hey, we'll see you at the Brownells booth, and then we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
You did?
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah, when they had the pro shooter chick.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He
was
pro
behind
shooter
the
lady.
Yeah, he was signing autographs for the pro shooter lady.
He was waiting for her to show up to sign.
Oh, that's
pictures.
what he was doing. Oh.
He wasn't signing.
I thought she wanted his autograph.
Yeah, she wanted him to sign her posters. No, stop it now. Well, something that happened while we were on the show floor, and this is a very fortuitous because the story broke originally on NRA ILA on their official website, and I was actually walking around. Was it Friday or Saturday? I guess it was Friday.
Both.
Whatever day it was.
You walked around both days.
Oh, it was Friday. I was walking around Friday, and I look at my phone, and I saw, because I actually didn't have bad service, but I look at my phone, and I said, aha, NRA's ILA news flash. Mississippi Governor Bryant signs NRA-backed pro-Second Amendment reform legislation. And this is what we told you guys. We told you it was coming down the pike. We told you that the House and the Senate passed it, and they sent the bill over to Governor Bryant's desk, and that he said, hey, if you send it to me, and I'm going to sign it. Well, he did exactly that thing. So now, listen up, hippies. The National Rifle Association's Institute for Legislative Actions applauds Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant today for signing into law Senate Bill 2394 and Senate Bill 2619. The Senate adopted the conference committee bills, yada, yada, yada. Essentially, what it says is this. SB 2619 takes effect immediately, and that's important. It takes effect immediately, and SB 2394 will take effect in July of 2015. Other key provisions of the measures include protection from federal overregulation. I like that. Federal overregulation of commonly owned rifle ammunition, lowering the age of requirement for a concealed carry permit from 21 to 18 for National Guard or Reserve members. Very cool. Clarifying the limits on where cities and counties can regulate enhanced concealed carry, because some of these cities that are run by hippie puke-faced mayors are trying to, essentially make things difficult for the law-abiding and I guess easier for criminals. Isn't that how that works? I mean, if you make it difficult for law-abiding people to protect themselves, aren't you making the criminals' jobs easier? Would seem like it, but I don't know why you'd want to do that unless you're a puke-faced scumbag liberal, and there are a few of those out there. It says, according to Governor Bryant, it says the right to keep and bear arms is fundamental to America and to Mississippi, said Governor Bryant. I have always been a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, and I'm proud to sign these bills into law. I thank the National Rifle Association and their supporters for these measures. So essentially what we've got now is we have a protection We have a protection against overreaching federal regulations. So go team, sovereign states, the way the country was designed to be. And the really cool thing is expanded, and I'm not sure. I'm looking at the story, Jaron. I don't remember off the top of my head which bill is essentially the person bag carry bill.
216 to...
I'll go to the previous story. Here we go. Yeah, the previous story. Bill, the one that says Bill's head to the governor's desk. One of them... I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to making sure I get my facts here straight, because I know that there's one person out there that will correct me if I don't. Okay, all right. SB 2394. This is the one that goes in effect. Is it the one that's effect immediately? I don't know. Look it up. 2394, as a refresher, reduces fees for concealed carry permits from $100 to $80, and it also reduces the renewal fees from $50 to $40, and also reduces the renewal fees for senior citizens from $25 to $20. Okay, it clarifies that a state-issued permit is not necessary to transport a loaded or unloaded firearm, pistol, or revolver in a purse, handbag, satchel, or other similar bag or briefcase or fully enclosed case. It also establishes special clarifications for carry permits for honorably retired law enforcement officers and so forth. And then 2619 is essentially the one that provides us with eliminates training requirements for enhanced concealed carry for active duty military people and honorably discharged veterans and retired law enforcement personnel. Basically, it's just a common sense bill. It looks at the world and says, okay, we understand that bad guys aren't going to follow the rules. We understand that bad people, vermin, criminals, scumbags, predators, they don't care what the law is. They're going to arm themselves in order to victimize you. So why should you make it more difficult for the law-abiding to protect themselves? You might want to be asking that to your state's governor. You know, why do we make it more difficult for the law-abiding to protect themselves than the criminal? Well, what do you mean? We're not making it easy for the criminals. No, because the criminals make it easy for themselves because they don't follow the laws anyway.
Did you still know, or did you know that Mississippi is still as bad as New Jersey?
Really? Did someone tell you that?
Yeah. I got a rather long email. I only read the first two sentences because I don't read long emails.
Is this today?
No, it was after we talked about the last one.
Oh, okay. After we did the Mississippi accused of being a slave state?
Yeah, after that one.
It was after we did that whole show?
Yep.
That would be cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance. They probably don't even know what that means. But so the whole reason that, and I only got one now, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay. No, people say, well, is Mississippi a constitutional carry state? Not 100%, no. It's that close. And if you could see me, you can't because we're on radio. But if you could see me, you'd see that I'm holding my left forefinger and thumb about 1 inch apart.
If you're part of the grad program, you get to see him sometimes.
Sometimes on Fridays. So, and how did you like last Friday? Did you guys dig that? Did we do that last Friday? Or was it Friday
2 Fridays
before?
ago.
2 Fridays before.
Not last Friday because we had an NRA.
Yeah, that's right. Last Friday we were like shucking and jiving and moving and grooving and trying to get things going. You like that? Shucking and jiving, moving and grooving? You just totally tuned me out, don't you?
Speaking of which, you know what that made me think of?
What?
That we forgot to go by the silencer code booth and get the little slap of duct tape.
Barfignugan.
Or did we? No, we went by there.
No, we didn't.
I thought they were with Two Vets Arms and...
No, that was DRT.
Oh, DRT.
And Rifle Dynamics was there.
Yeah, that's Jim Fuller.
We saw Jim Fuller out on the street.
Yeah, right.
In
but
front
I wanted
of the building,
to go get one of those little duct tape things.
And did you?
No.
Do you have one?
No.
Then you didn't go there.
I know.
Bad Jared.
I was thinking that they were piggybacking with the other two, and there was just so much going on.
I mean, that's a typical trade show. There's no possible way to see it all. You just can't. You have great intentions. You just see and do as much as you can, and you get to the end of the day and you go, Sunday afternoon, I'm done.
Oh, so
Stick a pin in me. Stick a fork in me.
let's go back to Mississippi real quick.
I thought we were in Mississippi.
Okay, we're in Mississippi, but let's go back to that subject.
To that subject?
Yeah, let's
All right.
talk about Mississippi for a little bit longer.
Mississippi.
And it's going to be kind of something that applies to all of you guys or all of the states that in the Union, in the United States. So the dude said that the reason that we are worse or as bad as New Jersey or whatever state he's in, I don't remember, is because we send Thad Cochran and people that are not true conservatives to Washington, which I kind of agree with. Mississippi, we did.
Well,
I didn't.
We,
Dad didn't.
yeah, when you say
didn't,
we.
But Mississippi elected Thad Cochran again for some ungodly reason. I don't know why.
I can tell you what happened. You want to know the God's honest truth?
He bought votes.
Yeah, what the God's honest truth is the Republican Party structure in Washington. The National Party structure got behind that.
Oh, you know what?
And also the Democrat Party as well. Did you know that Democrats were registering people to vote for Thad Cochran against the conservative candidate? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
While we're on that subject, I want you guys to go to Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media you use, or just Google or search Senator Chris McDaniels. And there's a bunch of stuff that he's been posting on his Facebook page lately. I wish I could find, or I already read it. I think I read it on the radio. It said that this came from a politician where he was saying that he wishes that the people would kick all of them out of office so that they could truly regain their liberty. Look up Senator Chris McDaniel and send him a note and say, or how can you help him? Because he needs, if we could get him to Washington, Mississippi could make a difference.
Yeah. Well, folks, you want to get into the whole like looking to Washington for you to solve your problems issue?
No,
we'll save that for another time. Because if you're looking for the people in Washington to fix themselves or the nation, you're looking in the wrong direction.
No, that's what I'm saying. He specifically said we need to kick everybody out.
Oh yeah, and I'm rock on. I'm with you. You know what kind of sucks, Jared, is the 2394 is the bill that allows purse, bag, satchel, briefcase carry, and that doesn't go in effect till July 1st. And the other one, the exemptions are for military personnel and the protections against an overreaching BATF. Yeah, the BATFA. That goes into effect immediately. So, all right, well, okay, we have to wait a couple of months until the purse and satchel and thing, until that all goes in.
This on the grad program this week.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the picture thing, the whole what's coming up on July? I think it's either June 1st or July 1st. The whole Patriot Act the
Patriot Act reauthorization?
I want to play that video, or at least the ending part of it, on the radio, but I can't because it says bad words, kind of.
Yeah, they say bad words in it.
Basically, this dude, and if you've ever heard of him...
John Oliver?
Yeah, John Oliver from Last Week Tonight. He dumbed down what the Patriot Act does into terms that every American can understand.
Even ones that went to public schools,
Yeah.
and even ones that play fantasy football.
Yep.
Now, hang on. Even people that play, that watch Dancing with the Stars, could those people understand it?
I think so.
Well, okay. We'll give it a shot. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's the good news. That's excellent news. And so essentially let's break it down for you. Break it down for me, brother. Here in Mississippi, if you don't want to apply for a concealed carry permit, you're like, screw that, I'm not getting a permission slip. Okay, you don't have to. Now, it's going to take, if you want to remain 100% within the law at all times, you're going to have to work a little bit. But in the state of Mississippi right now, you can carry a handgun in the open on your person out in public. Okay, you can carry and possess and have a handgun readily accessible, and you can even have it hidden on your body without a permit if you are at your home, place of business, or in your vehicle, because those are all part of the extended castle doctrine. So you can do that. As of July 1st, I think it's July 1st. It just said July 2015. But usually they make these bills go into effect at like midnight on the 1st or what have you. But and even if it doesn't, I don't care. So now they're saying, well, if you're You don't. I really, 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 really don't want to get a permit. Okay, great. Don't get a permit. So now you can carry in those fanny packs that everybody loves to hate because they're so effeminate, apparently, or purses or satchels or those shoulder bags, those strappy shoulder bags, whatever. You can do that. You can stay legal pretty much all the time, everywhere, without a state-issued permission slip. I got you. But if you want to cross from Mississippi over into Alabama and still be 100% legal there, or into Florida or Louisiana or Texas or whatever, then you knuckle down, you bite the bullet, you spend, and they reduce the amount of money that it costs you to do it. You knuckle down, you get one of those, and now Mississippi is, I believe it's 25 right now. I think we have reciprocity with 25 other states in the union. So, yeah, I know it's still a permission slip. I got that. But brothers and sisters, let's not be the great. Let's not let the great be the enemy of the good. We're pretty far ahead of just about everybody else. And if you're writing me from New Jersey or New York or Pennsylvania or Maryland or Massachusetts or whatever, take a deep breath before you write me a letter and tell me about how we're no different than you. Okay. And we can smoke cigars in our casinos here too. So bite me.
Speaking of writing letters to us, we had Mary. We met her. She's from 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control.
Oh, Mary from 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control. Hi, Mary.
Yeah, we met her, and we were talking to her on, was that Saturday night? Yeah, that was Saturday night.
Yes, Saturday night.
So we came back Sunday. I woke up this morning, and I looked at the Twitter account for the Student of the Gun, and there was a message from her on there that had a picture of mayonnaise and some bread and a knife. And she said, now that I'm back home, I'm assuming my womanly duties.
Wifely duties,
making a sandwich. And I was like, she gets it. She gets it.
She gets it.
She's a woman that's not offended, and
it says if you're offended, dudes, please get a sense of humor.
Yeah, she's ahead of these dudes that think that they're dudes, and
the metros that want to complain
women
to us.
that want to complain. Yeah,
dudes, listen up. If you want to see really super cool stuff like that, pictures of you, well, not you, but some of you. We've got lots of pictures of you folks that Jared shared on either Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. So if you want to see a picture of you with us, just do it, or see what we were doing, or hanging out, or what have you. Follow Student of the Gun's official Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. You have to put in the words Student of the Gun, and you'll find it. It's pretty simple. Of course, if you went to studentofthegun.com, you could link to all those from there.
Yeah, you go all the way to the bottom of the page, and bam.
And well, before let's go ahead, and I guess it's about 23. We're about halfway through this one, so let's go ahead and transition now. The following portion of Student of the Gun Radio is brought to you by SWAT Fuel, Special Weapons and Tactics for the Body. And the answer is yes. Jared and I did take our 40 caliber multivitamins all day, every day while we were on the road. And the 9mm Plus P gave us that little extra oomph and edge to get through those 16-hour days.
That got us home last night.
Yeah, no kidding. And don't forget about our friends Century Arms, the makers of the CZ39 V2, the 100% made in the USA AK. They're doing lots of good stuff over there at Century Arms. And one of the really cool things that they did is they redesigned their landing page at centuryarms.com. So check it out. If you haven't been to Century Arms lately, go to centuryarms.com and click on it. And you'll be like, oh, look, they did a new landing page.
He just used the term landing page.
Wow, that just
blew my mind.
Check out the brain on Paul. And not only that, but you say, well, I don't like to use my laptop because I feel like a dinosaur. I only like to use my mobile phone. You can do that. And how do you get to the Century Arms site from your mobile phone, Jared?
You go to the Student of the Gun mobile app, and you pull it up, and you click on the little Century Arms tab. I think, does it say Century Arms?
Yep, it's a little Century Arms icon.
Yep.
You tap it, and it takes you to their new mobile-friendly landing page.
Oh, does it really?
It's a mobile-friendly.
Wow. And they've got some pretty cool videos on there. So
they do. There's some, like, ugly bearded guys with AKs walking through smoke and, like, shooting guns in the mud and stuff like that. So check that out. All right, well, let's do the... Here's... You guys want to know the NRA annual meetings and exhibits takeaway?
I do. Tell me.
All right. It's the takeaway is people, not products. Before you ask me what was new and cool and interesting, and
so you took people?
No.
You kidnapped people?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's what I did. No, people, not products. What was the NRA annual meeting? Yes, they had 9 acres of exhibit space
and very polite people
with guns and holsters and flashlights and lube and scopes and everything. Anything that could bolt onto a gun, go into a gun.
If you wanted to put a Cadillac in a doghouse, you could fit that in there.
Yeah, anything you wanted to do. But that's really not what it was about. The NRA annual meeting, whether it's in Nashville or wherever it happens to be, it's in Louisville next year, Louisville, Kentucky. It's about people and good people. And for those of you, Jared, go ahead and do me a favor while I'm doing the intro here. Pull that story, that the fictitious, the lies from the Washington Post, and drop that in there.
New York Times.
Or New York Post?
New York Post?
New York Post? Whatever it is. There's some propaganda and lies out there. And I want to tell you, the entire audience, because I know the vast majority of you didn't get the opportunity to go. And that's cool. Maybe you can go next year. But there's been a lot of lies and propaganda floating around out there because some, cheap, crappy hacks that call themselves news reporters went to the NRA's annual meeting website and they saw something about guns being deactivated or non-working or non-functional. Well, here's the deal with guns and trade shows. All of the guns that are on the floor, that are in the booths that you can go by and pick up and hold and sight in and pull the trigger and all that, all those guns that are what they call display guns or show guns. And every one of those guns has either had the firing pin removed, or the striker removed, or the striker filed down, or they've been modified in some way so that you couldn't just bring a pocket full of ammo and slip around into one of those guns and shoot it inside of the building. Okay, you understand that? Because they are show guns. They're specifically designed to be display models. And they took that and they ran with it. They ran with this lie that the NRA was not allowing live firearms into the exhibit hall. And see, they're a bunch of hypocrites. They want guns to be in they want people to have guns in churches and parks and schools, but they won't even allow guns into their own events. So what a bunch of hypocrites they are. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it was propaganda. It was lies. It was horse crap. And I can tell you that for a 100% fact because I saw tons of people armed in the show. Lots of
carrying,
people.
open carrying,
carry, concealed carry.
They were open. They had their freaking AR pistols,
AR-15 pistols. Yeah. Like there's a couple that had, and if you were there, you probably saw it. But it was a man and a woman who had AR-15 pistols that had been, I don't know, Duracoated or something, but with American flag. The whole gun was like red, white, and blue American flag pattern. And they had some kind of a special rig to attach it to a belt. It wasn't like a holster deal. It was like some kind of a rig. But they're walking around perfectly legally. No one stopped them. And you're like, oh, maybe nobody saw. Maybe the police didn't see. No. Nashville Metro PD was everywhere. They were at the doors. They were walking around the floors. They were walking around the hallways. They were outside. They were on horseback. They had some private security people walking around. Guess what you had? You had a mix of legally armed citizens, legally armed police officers, legally armed security personnel, all working together. Tens of thousands of these people in one large building, one area, downtown, all without incident. No problems.
I found the thing.
You got it? Did you drop in the show notes?
No, not yet. Let me do that. The actual article is changed.
Oh, did they alter it?
Yeah, but there's a...
Because it got called out.
Yeah, there's a powerline.com, and I just put it in there. It's big and bold.
Gotcha.
Powerline.com, powerlineblog.com. They screen captured or they put this up before they could get to it. But anyway, so it says...
This is a New York Post article.
New York Times.
Oh, New York Times published.
So it says the Times.
All right. Yesterday, and this comes from powerline.com. And powerlineblog.com. Yesterday, the New York Times, and this is Dateline April 11th. Yesterday, the New York Times published a typically vituperative editorial on the National Rifle Association's annual meeting in progress in Nashville. titled "No Firing Pins, Please," as the NRA gathers. The NRA, or the editorial, accuses the NRA of hypocrisy because it banned guns from its own convention. NRA bans guns. Is that a gotcha moment or what? The editorial continued.
No, the editorial continued. And it tells you how you missed the first part of the editorial.
All right, this is the editorial. 70,000 people are expected to attend the NRA's, or the National Rifle Association Convention, opening on Friday in Tennessee, and not one of them will be allowed to come armed with guns that can actually shoot. After all the NRA propaganda about good guys with guns are needed, da-da-da-da-da, it says, this weekend's gathering of disarmed conventioneers seems to be the ultimate hypocrisy. So that's what they thought, because they obviously...
Because they don't know.
Because they can't read. There was a posting on if you went to nraam.com, there was a posting on there. It's been there for months.
So what happened was they were so excited when they saw that the show guns would have no firing pins.
That they just stopped reading.
They probably didn't even know what a firing pin was, so they had to go Google it, and they figured out that it was what made the bullet go bang.
Yeah.
So then they ran with this story.
It says there will be plenty of weapons in evidence at hundreds of display booths, but for the convention security, the firing pins must be removed. So far, there has been none of the familiar complaint about infringing supposedly sacrosanct Second Amendment rights. The gun lobby's main argument in opposing blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the thing. They wrote this article and made themselves look like 100% complete and total jackasses.
Yeah, let me read this. Anyone interested in buying the guns on display, many of them adapted from large magazine battlefield weapons.
Ooh, battlefield weapons.
That's a new term. I've never seen that before. Large magazine, so it's no more high capacity.
Oh, large magazine. They're like big, large.
Battlefield weapons.
Battlefield will have to apply later at a federally licensed dealer where, sensibly enough, background checks are required. It also happens the Times was late to the party. Says the editorial mimicked the claims made by MSNBC. Basically the same thing.
Oh, man. I can't wait to play that video for the grad program because... where the MSNBC interrupts the chick talking about something important to go talk about something that's definitely not important to anybody.
Yeah. So, and Jared's going to go ahead and drop this in so you can share it with your friends. But essentially, the big media they don't even try to do their jobs, do they, Jared? Folks, if you really...
No, they try to push their agenda.
No, they're pushing... Yeah, that's what that's apparently that is the job. You know, I guess the task of the Fourth Estate in a free Republican-type nation, in a representative republic like we have, the task of the Fourth Estate, and that's the press, is supposed to be to monitor the government for signs of tyranny and overreaching their authority. They're supposed to watch the government. They're supposed to be the government watchdogs to make sure that they do everything on the up and up and that they follow the rules. Ask yourself this. When is the last time that someone at the New York Times or MSNBC or CNN actually followed that guideline? That they were the watchdog to make sure that the government was doing things correctly and not overstepping their bounds. Instead, what we have now is you have a media who is more concerned with making sure that the peasants stay in their place, that the peasants don't, supersede the government power. Folks, they can't even finish reading an entire website before they publish, or a web page. It was on the front page at the NRA's annual. Let me see if it's still up, Jared.
Well, yeah, and they changed it to the sentence. The paragraph now says, let's see, where is it? 70,000 people are expected to attend the National Rifle Association convention opening on Friday in Tennessee, but they won't be allowed to carry firearms in one of the main convention venues. I don't even know what venue that was.
Oh, they tried to say that if you wanted to go to I guess it was the Country Music Hall of Fame, that you couldn't, or something like that.
Isn't that Nashville's thing?
I don't care.
But anyway, so what they're trying to do when they were talking about the guns being shipped to the dealers, because they're trying to they brought up that whole message because when you pick it up from a dealer, you have to get a background check.
Unless you got a concealed carry permit.
Well, then you
don't.
already got your background check. But the whole reason they brought that up is to make you think that that's why the people are sending the guns to the dealers. And really, they're abiding by the federal law.
Well, they're abiding by state and local laws.
Yeah, well, they don't want to break. Well, if they would have sold the gun to the people without doing their background check.
Oh, they never would. That was never part of the plan. But the website's still up.
What my point was that they're pushing that as the NRA is telling people to ship guns to the dealers so the buyer can get a background check.
No, the NRA annual meeting and exhibits, it's an exhibit. It's not a gun show. They're not bringing guns there to sell people. They never would, and they never do. That's not what it's all about.
Right.
It's like the auto show. When you go to Detroit and you go to the auto show, do you walk into the GM booth with your checkbook and say, "Oh, I want that one. I'm just going to get it and I'm going to drive it off the show floor. I want to be the first person to get the new Corvette, so I'm just going to buy that from you and I'm going to drive off with it." And they'll be like, "No, you have to go to a car dealer to do that. This is a trade show. We're showing you the stuff. You have to buy it somewhere else." Now, I'll tell you I'll just give you the exact verbiage. This is at the bottom of the home page. So if you're a lazy piece of filth journalist or a person who works for, MSNBC or New York Times, if you went to journalism school and you were hired on as a propaganda agent by the New York Times, all you had to do was go to the home page and, Jared, the only button that you actually would have to touch is the scroll down button. You don't have to click off the page. You have to, now I'll give them this, they had to go below the fold. They had to go to the bottom. And here it says, during the 2015 NRA annual meetings and exhibits, lawfully carried firearms will be permitted in the Music City Center with the proper license in accordance with Tennessee law. Bridgestone Arena, which is across the street, and it's a sporting event. It's a sporting arena. I think that's where they have their
the Alan Jackson concert.
The hockey. I think where they have the hockey team or the hockey games.
I don't know.
They have a hockey team there, something like that. Sure. I don't know. I don't follow that. Bridgestone Arena prohibits the possession of firearms. When carrying your firearm, remember to follow all federal, state, and local laws. Wow, that's certainly restrictive. Boy, there's some hypocrisy on display there. You got us. Oh, man, New York Times, you got us. You caught us. What a bunch of morons. That's disgusting. So there it is, folks, in black and white, because here at Student of the Gun, we actually can read. We have the ability. Now, Jared, we haven't even gotten into all the stuff.
Yeah, no, we got a bunch more to talk about.
We got about much more. We're going to talk about it tomorrow.
Let's talk about the plate behavior.
Okay. Well, here's what we found. And I mentioned this with the buses. Like, for instance, where Jared and I were staying in our hotel, it was not downtown. It was outside of the downtown area. So we took a shuttle in the morning and one back at night. No big deal, right? When we got to our hotel, there was a schedule posted. It said shuttle will leave on the hour every hour during these times. We'll return at the bottom of the hour every hour until these times. So we looked, at like responsible citizens. We looked at our watches and said, hey, if we want to catch the shuttle back, we need to go. Well, the second night was the Alan Jackson concert. Really busy. Tons, hundreds, thousands upon thousands of people downtown, right? And not just NRA people, but everybody else. So we walked down to the pickup area, and as we're walking up to it, we could see the line. And there's 10, 20, 40, 50, probably more than 50 people easily. Would you say?
Yeah.
75 maybe. And they were waiting on the corner at the shuttle pickup. And it was about 10 minutes before the shuttle was supposed to be there. I said, this is going to be interesting. So, here comes the first shuttle, and behind it comes the second shuttle, and behind it comes the third shuttle, and they pull up. And so we got up and we walked towards the shuttles. Everybody, without being told what to do, divided themselves into three groups. The people that were on the far right stayed up front. People on the far left went to the back. People in the middle went to the middle. They got on the shuttles in an orderly fashion. No pushing, no shoving, no, I want to get my seat, so I'm going to step in front of you, none of that jazz. When we got onto the buses, on the shuttle bus, they're typical, like, what you take to the parking garage from the airport or something. They're probably like, 30-person shuttles, something like that. And gentlemen got up when, they had a seat, but ladies got onto the bus afterwards. And so gentlemen got up, gave their seats to the ladies, and stood and held on to the rails. Nobody argued. Everyone was polite. When we got to our destination, people got up and let people get off.
They did the orderly thing that you're supposed to do on an airplane, but most people don't.
People go to the back first. Got on, walked to the back, filled the thing up from back to front. It's amazing. All these crazy Second Amendment right-wing nuts. And there was no pushing, shoving. It was just good, polite behavior.
And the very first day, we were looking for some coffee, and we finally found a Dunkin'
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we found the Dunkin' Donuts, and when you enter the Dunkin' Donuts from the convention, it's a pretty thin hallway, and then it opens up into the little area where they serve you the food and coffee. So there were people. There was one line in, and then people would have to get out, so they needed to turn around and come out. Well, when you go in, the line was on the right because we live in America, and that's what you do. You stay on the right. And then when people realized that the counter was on the left side, and people needed to get out, so there was two people coming through to get out, and as they were coming out, the people that were in line moved over to the left very quietly. The people that were coming out, that we were in their way, they didn't even have to ask people to move. They just moved over quietly, let the other people through. No pushing, no shoving, no yelling, nothing.
We were in the press room, and we were sitting there, and one of the other press people said that they had talked to if you ever go to a convention, what do? They hire locals, and locals, especially the local girls that work for the modeling agencies and stuff, that they'll hire them as like little spokesmodels or little pretty hand out the daily flyers. If you've ever been to a convention, they have these girls. They're in their early 20s, and they wear a nice little dress, and they stand there as you come in, and they have the date, like the newsletter or the map of the floor or whatever. And what do they say? Welcome to the NRA annual meeting. Would you like a map? Would you like a floor map? And they hand it to you, and they smile. And that starts everybody's day right. You feel good. It's very, very typical convention behavior. Well, one of the media guys was talking to one of the little girls, and apparently she'd done several of the the events there at the convention center. And she remarked to him, she said, "This is the most polite and nicest group of people that I've ever encountered at a convention." Does that speak volumes? Well, it should not surprise you, and it won't surprise you. But I just want to reinforce that to you, to all these the outsiders or the the people that are, I don't know, crazy gun people, and they're you have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. Now, we got a phone call today, and somebody suggested something, and I'm going to mention this, and then we're going to finish the show, Jared. They said that when we encounter these vagination reports, when we encounter these people that have just decided on their own that they're going to, these teachers that have decided that guns are bad and your kids aren't allowed to talk about it or what have you, or that we need to start calling them out personally. And I said, you know what? Okay. We're going to do that, but not only are we going to do that, but when people do things positively as well, when people show us support, we want to make sure that we're reinforcing good behavior. We don't want to just call out bad behavior, but we want to reinforce good behavior as well. So that's going to be the model from this point forward.
Do you want to?
If we see good behavior, we're going to reinforce it. If we see bad behavior, we're going to call it out.
Speaking of reinforcing good behavior, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now.
Okay, do it.
We met Jeremy of AAFU, the HMFIC over there. We actually met up with him at NRA. He's got the shirts. He's got them. They're available to ship now. Go to AmericanAssociationofFU.com and order your shirt. He's got some stickers and stuff too, and he's got the
little cards.
Yeah, the little cards, and he's got the new logo shirt coming out too. And
yes, Jeremy worked really hard.
Yeah,
and I think you guys need to show your appreciation to that. Go to his Facebook page and give him an attaboy or a thumbs up or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's AAFU Nation on Facebook
and Twitter. And that's why I brought that up, because reinforcing good behavior. Jeremy completely took this on he did it on his own. He contacted us and said, hey, I want to do this. And I helped him a little bit, but not very much. And he took it and ran with it, and he's got some shirts and stickers, and he's got a couple of giveaway stuff. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. He's going to give away a coffee mug, I believe. I don't know if it's going to be the adult version or which one it is, but I do know that he's got some coffee mugs to give away. And you can shake my hand and tell me thank you, Jeremy. No, I don't know. But, yeah, so he put a lot of work into it, and I would really appreciate, and I'm sure he would appreciate, too, if you guys showed him some support. Go to the Facebook page, the Twitter page. He's got an Instagram up now, AAFU Nation. Go purchase a shirt and sport the AAFU message.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But for now, it's time for me to say those famous words.
You have famous words?
I have famous words.
Actually, he's got a lot of famous words.
Do I have a lot of famous words?
Yeah, he actually does, but he's modest sometimes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you are a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life, and we will talk to you tomorrow.